It's the 8th race of the 2025 DeWalt Cup Series season, but it's the first of the season on a road course. It's a chilly day in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, but that's not stopping us from going racing for 16 laps in the Verizon 500K from Road America. We've seen familiar faces at the front through the first 7 races. Will those same drivers be able to contend today, or will new faces find themselves at the front? We'll find out next on JRTV. Welcome everyone to Road America in Wisconsin. I'm Joe Rakowski, Trey Bardo alongside me in the booth. Trey, first road course race of the season. It's a stat that people haven't been able to focus on yet, been able to test out yet, but this is the first test for these drivers and teams to see how well their cars and their abilities are set up for these road course races.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be I feel like it's going to be one of those races where we're going to see some different guys up front here, Joe, the ones that have been focusing on essentially in a way those one-off races, you know what I mean? And it'll be interesting to see who can possibly work their way through the field or who's going to drop off and fall through the field, and it's fun.
Yeah, it will be fun, and the interesting part is that towards the end of the season, when you're into the chase, those final few races, a road course is pretty late in the season at Riverside, so you're going to want to have a good rating there. It's only an 8-race chase, so if you kind of stumble for one race, that could take yourself out of championship contention. So we'll just have to see. This is the first base mark for these teams, and we'll have to see how these drivers and teams perform at a track like Road America. And Trey, though, it's a chilly day here. You know, it's April. We were expecting to have some warmer weather. In fact, the whole time leading up through the end of March, early April, the whole week leading up to this race, it was pretty nice, pretty warm. You know, 60 degrees. Now, Trey, we come here and it's below 40.
Yeah, the temperature decided to just drop on us for some reason, and I don't know about you. I didn't really bring a jacket. But luckily, we're in a heated booth.
But you know what that means for these drivers is that there will be a lot more grip out there. You know, the cooler temperatures, it's pretty overcast. We'll be seeing some fast speeds through the corners, but also it could be interesting coming off pit road, Trey. If those tires are cold, it's going to take a while to get them heated up because there's not all that much heat out there.
No, not at all. So these guys are going to have to be on definitely a little bit of, higher attention to what they're doing with their first couple of laps out there before those tires can get fully heated up, and we might see a couple of mistakes come out of that, and if they do, who's going to be able to take advantage of it?
That's a good point. That's where pit strategy is going to come into play. How will the undercut work? Will the overcut work? That's just something we'll have to see from the pit crews as we get later on into this race. There will be no cautions today. No cautions for any of the road course races this season. So if there's any incidents that we're able to see cars, sit on pit road damaged, or we see that cars have damage, we'll try our best to find them and put them into a side-by-side screen for you so we can check out what happened. Obviously, a lot could happen at a road course. It depends on what the game wants to do. So there might be some things that we don't catch because maybe it's just simple spins and we don't ever know that it happens. But we'll try to catch as much as possible so we can show everyone what has occurred here today at Road America, and quickly go over the top 5 in the points and where they're standing heading into this Road America race. Brian Rodriguez is the points leader still. He is only up though by 8 points over Nathan Stapleton, but Rodriguez starts very deep in the field. You see him back there in 62 on the right-hand side, way at the back, only 3 rows from the back, while Nathan Stapleton starts this race in second place. He's been so close to victory as of late. Jerry Chen also, with a poor starting spot, comes in third in points, so he risks the dropping some more. Bryce Egan, the first 2-time winner this season, has moved up to 4th in points, and he starts this race in 8th. And rounding out the top 5, Jack Haas had a very poor qualifying effort. He starts back in 41st. We'll see if he can recover, try and move up as best as he can. Obviously, it's a road course, could be hard to do, but it is possible at a track like Road America. So we'll start to get these guys rolling off, all 42 of them. Justin Zeidel leads us to the green flag. And let's quickly go over the top 5 starters and how their seasons have been so far and what today could be like for them as we see the 42 cars rolling off pit roads. Could be a long pace lap here, 4 miles around. Justin Zeidel on pole for Road America road course. This is a driver who hasn't made much noise this season. He currently sits outside the top 25 in the point standings. However, is a road course going to be the place for Zeidel to get to victory lane, maybe a good finish, and move himself up in points? This man, Nathan Stapleton, has been the best this season to not yet win a race. 2nd in points. He's led 52 laps, still hasn't won a race. But today could be the day for Nathan Stapleton. So close as of late. Maybe that second place start is just what he needs to get to victory lane. Max Davis, another third place starting spot. Another driver has been close to victory, but not quite yet. Vision Motorsports has 2 wins on the season, but they both come with Bryce Egan. Davis wants to add his name to the list. Laura Chung, winner earlier this season at Phoenix, and she's starting to move her way back up in points after a good result last time out. Up to 8th in the point standings. Been a solid season so far. She'll look to continue that with a 4th place start. Right out the top 5. How about this man, Anthony Hernandez? Hasn't made much noise so far this season. Way down in the points when you look at it. All the way down in 40th place in the point standings. But here at the road course, he's qualified well, has that track position. We'll see if his team can keep it to keep themselves up at the front. Maybe have a shot at race victory at the end of the 16 laps here today at Road America. So Trey, we've gone through the top 5 starters. Now let's get to our predictions to win this race. I've taken over the lead in season averages as I've gotten 5 top 10s in the last 5 races. In fact, your last race was really your first bad one, Trey. Your first one where a driver of yours finished outside the top 20. So as the Gatorade starting grid starts to roll at the left side of the screen, Trey, who's your pick to win here today at Road America?
Well, I'm going to go with that guy that is finishing out the top 5 here in the 35, Anthony Hernandez, Joe. I feel like we haven't really... We've talked about it a couple times this season. He comes up and then he goes right back down and can't really, find that rhythm he's looking for yet, Joe. But he's got a good starting spot here for a road course, and I think he's going to be able to finally show everyone that he's got a car underneath him that can go out there and finish in the top 5 and go out there and win races, and I think this is going to be it.
I like that pick, Trey. Anthony Hernandez and Land Motorsports as a whole have just been kind of down this season, but here today, Land Motorsports has qualified well. Hernandez up inside the top 5. Mathis Wells with a few rows back, and a few rows behind Mathis Wells is their 3rd driver, Alex Sampatale. So I think Land Motorsports could be a team to watch out for here today. Not necessarily for the win, but just for some decent results for sure. And, Trey, I'm ironically going right beside you. I'm taking Ryan Bridgman in the 28 car. This is a team and a driver. They've been consistent. They've been solid this season. But they haven't quite had that race-winning speed anywhere. They've just been solid. They've been, they've kind of been average. It's been enough to keep them up in that chase hunt. But they dropped as of late. They're going to look to rebound. I think they can rebound right here, going from 6th to victory here at Road America. Well, they've gone through the kink. Now we're coming up to Canada Corner, one of the final corners of the racetrack. Quickly take a look at the track facts here for Road America. 4-mile road course, as we mentioned. The fuel window will be interesting, just about the midway point, 8 to 9 laps. The question is, will anyone try and undercut that even more, knowing they can go a little bit longer, try and get new tires on as soon as possible. There is a decent amount of tire fall off here at the end of an 8-lap run. We're looking at over 3 seconds of lap time fall off. So that'll be something to watch out for, something that will be interesting for sure. And it's a 14-turn road course. A lot of them are to the right, 10 to the right, only 4 to the left-hand side. Well, we've gotten it through. We've gotten through the long pace lap. It felt eternal, but here they finally come into turn 14, the final corner. This will be a big passing opportunity because we've seen the leaders in the past. They've been able to overshoot this corner. The guy in second able to dive to the inside. It could be a drag race up the hill to the start-finish line to lead a lap, maybe even for the checkered flag. Who knows how it will play out over 16 laps. Well, we know it's Seidel and Stapleton on the front row here at Road America. Davis and Chung, Hernandez, Spurley, Jacob Miller, Bryce Egan, DeLello, and Joshua Cox round up the top 10. Up the hill they come to see the green flag. The Verizon 500K from Road America is underway. Green flag in the air. The first road course race of the season is underway. Alrighty, going out for the lead out of turn 3. Nathan Stapleton and Justin Seidel are side by side. You saw Max Davis, he got shoved wide by Anthony Hernandez, but now as they come up the back straightaway, Trey, Seidel's fighting back with that horsepower underneath that Ford.
Yeah, he's going to have the lane he wants to on this inside, or he'll see what Stapleton can do on the outside. Actually, he holds off pretty well.
He did, yeah. Seidel got a little loose, a little bit of wheel spin there. Maybe that colder temperature coming into play right there. Couldn't get the tires gripped up. Now Stapleton has the preferred lane, and he clears Seidel. So Nathan Stapleton to the lead, and Riley Spurlington from 6th place is already up to 3rd, so 3 spots gained there. Laura right where she started in 4th. Hernandez right where he started in 5th place. And you have Bryce Egan up to 6th. Max Davis is dropping, and now he's in the unpreferred lane into the carousel. Joshua Cox goes by him. Here comes Mathis Wells to look by him as well. However, if Wells can't complete the pass, we're coming up to the kink. You do not want to be on the inside in the kink.
Yeah, definitely not. We'll have to see how they settle this out right here. It looks like they're Well, they're going to try to do the inside. Oh, he got really loose there. Was able to continue on, though, Joe, but he's going to lose a couple of spots because of it.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell who it was, but he hit
Gary.
hard. It is the 69.
Tim Gary has crashed hard, and that's a fast part of the racetrack to crash. Maybe Drew Webb caught up as well. That 45 has some damage right there on the left front. That's a tough place to crash there, Trace. You mentioned it's a high-speed crash. You hit hard there, and it's very narrow. We're fortunate other cars didn't get collected in that. Well, up the hill, Nathan Stapleton have all the madness will lead the first lap. As he took it from Zidell, is now trying to fend off Laura Chung and Riley Sprutu. That 79 is going to get clear for third in between the two EKH Enterprises cars. So at the front, two Otter Island Motorsports cars owned by Benny Watson, then two EKH Enterprises cars owned by Evan Hunter.
Anthony Hernandez is trying to spoil that right now as he dives to the inside. He's going to go for two cars in one corner, Joe.
What a corner for that Toyota. Anthony Hernandez moving up on the inside. He was 5th place entering turn number 3. He's going to enter the back straightaway in third. Now we'll see if he can hold it like Stapleton was able to do on the outside into this very, very fast corner of the racetrack where he then have to slow it way down. Laura Chung did a great job on the inside getting that spot back as Bryce Egan also moves around Riley Sprutu. So a bad set of sequences for Sprutu right there as Bryce Egan moving up nicely. That two-time winner trying to make his name known at the front. Joshua Cox moving up nicely for Ace Motorsports as we saw another one of the Ace cars, Tim Gary, involved in that big crash. As back here, some more fights. You can see Jericho right there. He's on the bumper of Burnett, now trying to fend off Alex Sanvitale. That's for about 12th place or so. As Burnett's gotten around Jericho, he's going to settle into 13th, right about where he started. Levi Schoen's on the bumper of Sanvitale as well. Go further back into the carousel. Matt Tuck making a move on Ryan Wilson, now trying to look on Gabe Willard as well. The problem is we're coming up to the kink. You do not want to be on the inside. Matt Tuck is going to know that right here as he might be able to get him right by Gabe Willard. He did a decent job there, not losing too much ground.
Yeah, very nicely done there. He's going to fall right back in line there as we got a couple other guys thought they were going to go for a pass, might try to dive out of here, but he's going to think better of it. That's going to be the guy behind him we're good. We're good.
That 8 has some damage. Johnny Cox for Crispy Fried Race Adventures. I have to wonder if he was involved in that Tim Gary incident as well. Obviously, it's not affecting Cox too much because he's still out there trucking along. There's Jerry Chen, one of the top drivers in points, as he's kind of fallen in line right here with, that was Jude Martinelli passing him in the 94. Where's the points there? Brian Rodriguez. There he is on the bumper. Jordan Stout up the hill. Still struggling to get some track position as they run right now. Brian Rodriguez as Drew Webb is out. And Tim Gary has gotten back out there, but Drew Webb obviously is pretty heavy damage. Brian Rodriguez currently runs in the 32nd position, so he's moved up a little bit, but still struggling for some pace. There's Tim Gary. Robert Ashford has crashed somewhere in the 58 as well. Pretty heavy damage.
Yeah, I wonder what had happened there. We'll have to see if camera got onto it. But Joe, we still got a race going on right here. It is still Nathan Stapleton holding the lead as he's kind of starting to pull away quite a little bit as we got a pass, I believe, going on for second. It's going to be Laura Chung trying her best to go on all the wrong racing lines as,
Yeah, that 58.
Oh, hold on.
This could be a bad spot.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Contact, I think.
There was some contact. Ashford, he couldn't do anything more there.
No, not at all. I mean, that was just really bad timing on a really bad corner. And right here, he's going to stay up in the high line, which is what you want to do. And nicely done.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job here. He knows he can't go any further. He's in the grass then and can't be there, but he just needs to do his best to stay wherever he can here. And once the field gets by him this time, then he'll be good, you know, to get to pit road and obviously retire that car. Jordan Stout got a little caught up right there, but that's just a fast corner to be catching someone like that. Now he's moving over. See, Roberto Crown Jr. has a lot of damage from the 20 car as well, so he's been into someone somewhere. This is just road course races. Stuff happens everywhere. You can't catch all of it.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how these guys were going to get around him. I mean, I was more worried about, you know, these guys that don't have damage running in the wrong line and running into the lap car. And the lap car not doing anything, but, you know, these guys doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, we can see right there. There's a good battle. Zachary DeLello and Mathis Wells going side by side to turn one with that's Matthew Burnett right behind them as well. That's a battle for 10th, 11th, and 12th, then 13th, 14th, 15th, all on that. Look at Jericho send it to the bottom. He'll get a pass on Burnett, who kind of missed turn 3 right there. Sanvitale is looking to maybe take advantage of that, but Levi Schoens jumps to the inside. Now Burnett's going to try and block off those two. As up further forward, Jacob Miller and Joshua Cox are going at it as Max Davis moved around the 99. Now the 95 trying to do the same, but Cox, whoa, he sent it to the bottom of turn 4. Nearly gone to Max Davis, and those two are going to be drag racing up this hill. As to turn 5 they come, still side by side between the 60 and the 99, but Davis has the preferred lane. Should be able to clear the 99 right here. Cox is going to try and fight tough, but he's looking not quite there.
I thought he was going to send it, Joe. I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, Jacob Miller.
I was fully expecting him just to send it down there.
Jacob Miller sent into that corner, went off the track a little bit. Luckily, there was some paved area right there. He was able to go off wide. But as you mentioned, Nathan Stapleton got to the lead. He's been able to start to pull away a little bit. Zidell has not been passed quite yet by the 79 of Laura Chung. Anthonez in the 35, still hanging tough in 4th. Bryce Egan up to 5th. Bryce Bridge was down to 6th. Remember, he's up to 3rd on the initial start of the race. Now he's back down to where he started this race. Max Davis has dropped from 3rd to 7th. But he's been able to gain a spot back from Joshua Cox, who's now down in 8th. Jacob Miller 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is Mathis Wells in car number 39. So that's 2 Atlanta Motorsports cars up inside the top 10, something we haven't really talked about this season. Here is Laura Chung making a pass on Zidell. Made it look easy there through the final corner of turn 14, and now trades an Otter Island Motorsports 1-2. I mean, we were talking about beginning of the race, could this be a track, a track type where different teams and different drivers make their names known at the front of the field? Well, Benny Watson and his crew have just figured out something everywhere, it looks like, because they have Nathan Stapleton leading, Laura Chung in 2nd. I mean, Otter Island Motorsports, so far at this moment, Trey, they look unstoppable no matter where we go.
Again, Joe, are you really that surprised about that?
Not surprised at all. It's just something to point out. It's just, you got to point it out when it happens.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, right now, we're going to have to see what Laura Chung can do against her teammate Nathan Stapleton, because Stapleton just has not looked back whatsoever and is just pulling farther and farther away. Or if Laura Chung, I mean, you would think a teammate would be able to pass him to teammate, right?
Well, we'll just have to see. Laura Chung, she needs to first get away from Zidell. So far, she's doing a good job of pulling a gap on that number 38. Do want to bring up at the back of the field, Robert Ashford will finish this race in last. Drew Webb will finish 41st, and Tyler Belladonna will finish in 40th. You have Tim Gary still out there, but he's well off the pace. Roberto Crown Jr. has been on pit road and off. He's taken the hood off, and that front end is still way damaged. And Ryan Wilson has an issue in the 48 car. He's been damaged as of late, and now the 48 car is slowing at the back. And Alex Sanvitale has an issue in the 09. He's been damaged as well. He was running up inside the top 20 or so.
Yeah, so Joe, this just goes to show you that road courses hold nothing but mystery, because this has all happened mid-pack or farther, and we have yet to see a single one other than that Tim Gary on the first lap. So lots of mysterious actions going on around here.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of cameras at JRTV, and they'll be, the producers are back there. They're looking. It looks like one happened here, which I don't think I've ever seen a crash happen going up the hill. In my years of doing NR at Road America, I don't think I've ever seen that. So the game continues to find ways to impress.
I don't even know
how you would do it there.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, moving on. We got as we're looking through the field here.
How about this, Angel Gutierrez?
Yeah, he's holding himself strong right here. What is that? Just outside the top 10?
Yeah, 14th, so inside the top 15 for Gutierrez, who's had a very dismal start to his season. And looking to pick it up. Matt Tuck is starting to move up in points as of late. Levi Schoens has some damage, so he must have been involved in something with like maybe the 09. I think those two were racing each other, and Schoens has damage, but fortunately for him, it's not as much as Sam Vitale had in the 09 car. I want to go further back. This is outside the top 20 now. Jude Martinelli trying to make some passes. Tegan Fox actually just got around him. There's Johnny Cox still hanging tough with some slight hood damage. Jerry Chen currently in 26. Brian Rodriguez has done well to move through the field up in 27th. Philip Torres also started very poorly. He's up inside the top 30. In fact, Eli Bright has some damage in that 88 car. So Philip Torres has just passed him. Eli down in 30th, trying to fend off Chris Keselowski. We have Seaman and Jack Haas, then Jordan Stout, and then Joe Hendry. Those are the cars that are still with this main pack. Then you have Crown Jr., you have Sam Vitale on pit road. Ryan Wilson has finally made it to pit road as well. Tim Gary off the pace. Then you go back up to the lead, which is still held by Nathan Stapleton and Laura Chung, the two teammates. We're coming around to 10 laps to go this time by. So, Trey, we're nearing the point of pit stops in the pit window. And the question is, the big question for sure, do teams dare try to pit even earlier than halfway, knowing they can go longer, try and get the tires on sooner and use that to their advantage? So will we start to see pit stops at the start of lap 8, from lap 7 to lap 8, instead of going to halfway? We'll just have to see next time by 4 miles from now. But Trey, something to notice, Laura Chung has caught up to Nathan Stapleton, the gap from 1.4 to 0.6 of a second.
Yeah, she is absolutely flying right now, Joe. I mean, hunting Stapleton down is the #1 mission, and she so far is succeeding at that feat. But like you mentioned, Joe, does she come in with a teammate, come in past the teammate before pit stops, or come in before the teammate?
Yep, that's going to be the strategy part at a road course. That's the fun part of this. We'll just have to see how that's going to play out, what works out. And you have to know, if Laura Chung catches Nathan Stapleton, what do you think Benny Watson's going to be thinking? Oh, well,
I don't think Benny Watson's going to like that whatsoever.
She tried to bump and run on Nathan Stapleton. Did these two have something happen at the shop or something? That was a little bit aggressive.
That was, wow. I don't know.
Did she damage anything?
How do you say about that?
Did she damage the hood? Obviously, the back bumpers, that's kind of fine. You don't really need that to look, but you don't want to damage the front end of this race car. She's been fast. She's been catching Nathan Stapleton. You don't want to damage the car, before you can even try to pass him.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting that, Joe. If there was one thing I was going to say that would not happen there was contact between teammates, but Laura Chung thought otherwise and tried to essentially, like you said, move Stapleton out of the way rather than pass him. And unfortunately, it didn't work for her. But now Stapleton, I feel like, is going to block 10 times harder than he would have normally for a teammate right there, as Laura Chung went a little wide on corner exit. So that's going to hurt her, abilities to try to catch Stapleton a little bit. But all right, that kind of changes the chemistry between these two.
What are the odds that also happened right as we brought up Benny Watson, the team owner, saying, like, how's he going to react to these two if they have to battle for the lead with each other?
He just cannot be happy.
Well, here we go. Here's the undercut, pitting before halfway, trying to get the tires on and use it to get some clean racetrack. Mathis Wells and Matthew Burnett are the first two. Wells was 10th, Burnett was 12th. They hit the pit lane trying to get the tires on sooner. So far, they're the only two. Here comes Martinelli, Johnny Cox. I think that's Tegan Fox. No, that's Chris Keselowski in the 57. So some of these guys that have been struggling in traffic come in now, get some clean racetrack, get out there, run some big laps. See some more actually pitted, it looks like. Maybe Jordan Stout, Levi Jones pitted even earlier. Maybe had some damage or some other stuff that they wanted to remedy on their race cars. Here we go. Again, she dives it in deep.
She's trying it again.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that could also just be going down to they have different braking zones, and Laura Chung's a lot more confident on her brake compared to Nathan Stapleton, and the gap that she can make up in that corner is just greater than what the distance between them is. So, I mean, I'm going to say it's just different braking zones and not teammate frustration.
I was going to say that time made me think that the first time was just accidental, because the first time she runned into him, that time looked like she was going to run into him again, but she kind of blew her own corner to make sure she didn't hit him that time. So I just have to think, they call Daniel Ricciardo the latest of the late breakers. I think Laura Chung might have that name in the DeWalt Cup Series, because she's latest of the late breakers going into turn 4, 2 laps in a row.
So that, now she's going to have to essentially adjust her braking zone to, not run into the back of her teammate, but at the same time be able to continue to gain time on Stapleton as well. So we'll have to see what she can do in the next couple of laps here. But like we mentioned, Joe, pit stops are still coming for these front guys here. And when are they going to decide to do such a thing? Is Stapleton going to come down? Looks like he might be.
Yep, so here we go at halfway, and this is bringing everyone.
Everyone.
I was going to say, Zidell had caught up there as well in the 38. All those guys, battling each other so far. Wow. No one.
Does anyone stay out?
No one is trying to stay out at the moment. I was wondering if someone would stay out for a bonus point there for leading a lap, because Stapleton's been the only one to
Joe,
lead.
Pit road's going to be a busy place right now.
Yeah, I would. If I'm at the back, I'd be staying out. Even if the tires wear out more, you have a clean pit road. Okay. Well, that's a lap car. So, yeah, everyone.
Yeah, I was going to say, they came down earlier for damage. So, well, you got to be careful here, Joe, with contact coming off the pit road with guys coming in late and others staying out longer, right? So we'll have to see what we do. And left side's up first.
Have to mention the pit wall's been moved. So You know, Zidell is not at risk of hitting that pit wall. If you hit that pit wall, you probably deserve to hit it. Look how far in it is. Oh, slow stop for
Oh
Stapleton.
my goodness, look at Laura Chung.
Laura Chung's going to take the lead, and Stapleton's going to drop back to third, maybe even fourth.
Anthony Hernandez would have stopped.
Wow, that 35 moves up to second. Zidell now third. Stapleton back to fourth from the lead. And look at Mathis Wells and Matthew Burnett with their undercut strategy. They're moving up, and they have hotter tires now.
They have moved themselves from, just inside to just outside the top 10 to well inside. And like you mentioned, Joe, they got those warm tires with the cold temperatures outside right now. They might be able to get a couple more spots as everyone else is going to come off of pit road as looking through the field. A couple of shakeups going on right now, but wow, that was not expecting that at the front of the pack.
There's another undercutter, Jude Martinelli, moving up nicely. I believe he's around the top 20 now as well. So the undercut works. The question is, do you pay on the long run? You know, it's going to be a longer run to the end of this race, longer than anyone's run, and you're going to be hurting on tires. Maybe there's a lot of tire fall off at a track like Road America. Well, now Laura Chung leads this race. Auto Island Motorsports looking to lead every lap, be it between Stapleton and Laura Chung. The question is, does she have the car to hang tough over this long run and keep Hernandez at bay? She has a good gap to that 35. Zidell is in third. Stapleton was dropping off in the long run, and now struggling. He's going to be back in traffic in fourth. Bryce Egan fifth. Mathis Wells is going to be sixth. Matthew Burnett seventh. So that's a net gain of about 4 to 5 spots for those two with their pit strategies. And Wells is looking for more. On the bumper, Bryce Egan coming to Canada corner. He wants a top 5 spot. Here he comes, diving to the inside. Can he make this right-hander on the inside? Wells going for fifth. He's going to take it from the 2-time winner, Bryce Egan, but the 18 trying to fight back. Whoa!
No, it's all right. It's fine.
That was close.
Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, Joe, this is some interesting stuff going on at this race for a road course. Who says road courses can't be exciting?
Yeah, there's been a whole lot of excitement here today. Maybe too much to look through, but it's been a good one for sure. As Laura Chung's lead at the front, 1.8, 1.9 seconds over Anthony Hernandez. We'll see how that changes over the final 7 laps. Here's a good battle for 6th. Egan and Burnett going at it. Tim Gary has come off pit road. He lets the front 5 get through. Now he's going to find a gap to fill into. Burnett blocks off Davis, who goes really wide, nearly into the grass, and Spurley takes the spot. That's 8th place.
Well, Davis isn't going to like that, but Spurley Tube will, because he was able to benefit off of that situation right there as these two are trying to get past the 69 Tim Gary. I think they're going to do it before the braking zone here. What does Burnett do? He's going to look to the inside, brake later than the 18. He's going to get there. Not quite yet, but Joe, he might. Oh my goodness, he hooked the corner. Crazy.
Yeah, I think he spun the tires trying to get to the inside of that 18, and he just couldn't do it. As Tim Gary trying to be a respectable lap car. However, he does have some fresher tires, so even though he's damaged and probably well off the pace, he has a little bit more tire grip than maybe some of the guys around him as well. In fact, Dave's going to try and come back and sprint to use the 69 as a pick. Oh!
It worked, kind of, not really.
It's not going to work through the carousel. Look at
Tim Gary stole. Yeah, he's still battling Spurley Tube here as he finally was able to get past him, but now he's going to hold up Max Davis yet again. Oh my goodness, I thought Davis was going to look middle 3 wide.
He was just trying to pinch off Joshua Cox to make him slow down so that he could have a run around Tim Gary now. And there he goes, as now Cox is going to have to fend off Jacob Miller. That's for 10th place back there. Here comes Miller diving low. Joshua Cox on the outside gets loose and nearly into Miller, who now has to fend off with Tim Gary. This is some crazy stuff now. Look at Miller. He's trying to go around the outside of Tim Gary into turn 14. Gary's got the preferred inside lane. But, they nearly made some contact there off turn 14. Miller's by. At the front, Hernandez is closed in by a second in that lap.
What happened? I mean, either Hernandez has found a 6th gear or 5th, however many gears, Joe. I forget. I'm so used to the next gens nowadays, Joe.
Yeah, 5th gear, because there are 4 in this one. If you want to count reverse as a gear, then it would be a 6th gear, I guess.
And not to mention that we're coming up to another lap car. I believe that's the 09 of Santa. Yep, it is. Okay, so we'll have to see what goes down with this, because I don't think he's too damaged to where he's going to be completely off the pace right now. But, Joe, Anthony Hernandez is absolutely flying right now.
He is. Hernandez is on the bumper of Laura Chung now. So now he's pressuring Chung to maybe make a mistake. So that's going to be something to watch out for. But also something to think about is that, yeah, Hernandez is catching now, but we still have 5 laps to go at the line. Is he pushing his tires too soon? We don't know that. The only way we'll know is at the end of this race. But at the moment, he's making it interesting. He's really pushing. I mean, he went wide through that corner trying to use everything that he can. And we'll see through the carousel. You want to be very technical through here. You feather the gas, back off it, back on it. And Hernandez did a great job. Kept it a little bit lower than trying to get some clean air down to the kink. Not a passing zone, but a good opportunity to get through there fast to have a shot at Canada Corner. Canada Corner, one of the best passing zones on the racetrack. We saw that in the Simulation Cup Series in the final season, where we saw last lap pass for the win through this area into Canada Corner. Hernandez is there, and Chung goes wide! Chung went wide!
Wow, that opened the door
and he's
perfectly
clear
for Hernandez.
Now, can he hit his marks?
You got to think maybe Chung was looking in the rearview mirror to see what Hernandez was doing and just missed her braking zone, making her push wide, and that allowed Hernandez to go right by as he's pulling away. He's going to catch the 09 perfectly on the front stretch here, so there should be no issues getting into turn 1, but I don't know if Laura Chung's going to get there, so she might get slowed up a little bit. She's going to try.
Wow. She dove out to the right. She's going to make it to the inside at least, so that worked out well. Here's about for third. Stapleton trying to come back as Idell. 38 car hangs tough and pulls ahead on the outside lane, so he'll keep that third spot for now. Stapleton will settle in fourth. Mathis Wells doing a good job in fifth place, trying to hang in there with the front four. He sees Idell now has to get by. So far, they've cut the 09 in a good spot for those front four, all in the straightaways.
Yeah, so luck is on their side, at least at the moment for them. And, well, not for the 39, but that's all right, as these guys are still going to battle it out here for third place, as Stapleton is trying to get back what he lost, Joe, and that was a dominating car, and seems like traffic in general is definitely hurting the performance of that, as he cannot get the speed he was once there for, as they are struggling right now behind the 09.
Yeah, as you mentioned, he's slow on the straightaways, but through the corners he's pretty fast. So they're struggling. Mathis Wells has not been able to find a way. Oh, maybe right here through the carousel.
Still not yet.
Might get aggressive here through the carousel, saying move away. But now you have the kink to come up to as well. So you need to clear immediately right here. You need to hope that damage slows him up enough you can clear. Bryce Egan might not clear into the kink. It's going to be close. He does. So that was good for Bryce Egan. Good sequence there. He's able to catch up to Mathis Wells now and has a little bit fresher tires than the 39 as well, as Matthew Burnett moves out with Riley Spurley-Tube. In fact, Spurley-Tube's going to look for a pass on Burnett. Couldn't quite get it done. Battle for third. Stapleton right to the back bumper as Idell into turn 13 right here, basically pushing him into turn 13, and he's going to be right on the bumper into the final corner of turn 14. Can he force Idell into a mistake? No, he makes the mistake.
Oh, he's going to go wide.
Oof.
Huh. I wonder if maybe he just lost it on corner entry, Joe, and pushed up the track, and he lost all that time he gained up on the 38, so Stapleton's going to go right back to work, but someone who has not lost a lot of time, if any at all. He might have actually gained time, if I'm being honest with you. It's this 35 of Anthony Hernandez, as we're looking back through the field, as battles are still raging on throughout the entirety of everyone else on this track right now, as little side-by-side action going into turn 1. I didn't know if the 99 was going to cut off the front end of DeLello's car there or not, but they settled it out.
It's for 11th and 12th. Oh, Ludovic Charette also out of the race. It says header. That could be from crash damage, or it could be a mechanical issue. We'll just have to see, if we've caught any sort of crash there. But Ludovic Charette's going to finish 38th, either mechanical issue or she's been involved in a crash. It's been a rough stretch for Charette as of late. She's not been able to find the consistent pace that she needs to contend, and just hasn't had the luck as of late as well. And dropping her down in points as we're going back through. This is about 20th place. Yeah, so this is around 15th or so. Currently, Cam Wright Jr. holds 16th, Jericho 17th, Tegan Fox 18th. They have Martinelli up to 19th, Eli Bright up to 20th. Wasn't Eli talking about, we'll just see what we can do with the starting spot? He had damage early on. Looks like they fixed it decently well, and he's up here now inside the top 20.
Yeah, he's definitely taking advantage of a lot of the cars, getting out of the race with damage and not able to finish, as well as just, kind of doing his thing on road courses, Joe. And he's normally pretty good on road courses, if you remember.
Yep, yeah, I do remember that. As Brian Rodriguez is trying to get a spot right here from Chris Keselowski. They've come up to Tim Gary. Rodriguez has struggled at this stage of the race, kind of dropping some positions. He's fallen behind Jack Haas. Now he's fallen behind Chris Keselowski as well, so he's way back there.
Whoa!
Wow, the 57. He missed that kink. That's a bad spot to miss. Normally, you don't miss and not wreck through there, so it was impressive that he didn't wreck.
It almost looked like he tried to just get the angle and full throttle it and see what happens, Joe's. But unfortunately, you can't do something like that, as
Wow.
Hernandez has gotten himself out to a 2-second lead. That is the biggest lead, Joe, we've seen all race now, and it's at the point to where you're just saying, well, he can continue to hit his marks here and just kind of pace himself. What is anyone else going to do, as Laura Chung's come under pressure from the 2 cars behind her that have been in contention for this race as well?
Yeah, I was going to say, Laura Chung has really fallen off. The 38 and the 75, they seem as fast as the 35. Laura Chung just does not have it this run of the race. I don't know what it is, if she can't get her tires up to temperature, something along the lines of that. But she is struggling, and now she's trying to fend off Zidell, which is also allowing Stapleton to have a shot at Zidell as well. So this is a great 3-car battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Meanwhile, further back, Wells has 5th. Spurgeon's gotten around Bryce Egan, so Spurgeon's now 6th. Egan is 7th. Then you have Matthew Burnett, Max Davis, and Jacob Miller. That's the front 10. Back up to this battle for 2nd because Laura Chung has been struggling. Coming around to 2 laps to go, Zidell's going to want to get by her immediately, because if she keeps holding that 38 up, that 75, Stapleton's going to be looking for a pass here as well. But you have to give a shout out to Anthony Hernandez and Atlanta Motorsports. As we mentioned, Hernandez down 40th in points. Atlanta Motorsports one of the lowest in owners' points. And here they are leading at Road America. We talked about road courses, how they could shuffle up the running order. Well, here they are. And Atlanta Motorsports has put 2 cars inside the top 5 at the moment. Hernandez looking to win this race. Still 2 laps to go and still 8 miles. A lot of stuff can happen, but Hernandez has a good race car, and Zidell is struggling behind Laura Chung. Can't find a way to pass. Speaking of pass, Spurgeon's trying to get by Mathis Wells for 5th place.
He is doing. This 28, Joe, is on a rocket ship right now, because he has passed how many cars within the last couple of laps here, making himself now into the top 5, as we got a pass going on for 2nd place here. He's going to try to dive it up on the inside of Laura Chung. He's there, Joe. He's going to be able to complete the pass coming out of turn 1. They're both going to break. Laura Chung's going to break a little bit harder, Joe. Is it going to be enough? She's going to actually hold on to it.
Yeah, I think so. Zidell did not get the grip down low. Spurgeon also didn't get the grip to get by Mathis Wells. Stapleton misses turn number 3. He'll drop back off that battle. That allows Zidell some breathing room, trying to just focus on Laura Chung. Mathis Wells gotten away, and Spurgeon's going to lose a spot back to Bryce Egan. So these 2 trade spots back and forth, Egan and Spurgeon, but they're going to stay side by side up the straightaway. 2 Fords drag racing to the heavy, hard braking left-hander of turn number 5.
Well, Joe, this is a lot of cars with very little laps left. What's going to happen here?
Could be some chaotic racing, that's for sure. This is 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, basically all right here. From Bryce Egan back to Jacob Miller. 5 cars under a blanket. Egan gets by Spurgeon for 6th. He'll set his sights on Mathis Wells for 5th place. Meanwhile, Zidell still can't get by Laura Chung, but once again isn't looking in his mirrors at the moment. He's just focusing on that 79 car out in front. Stapleton's fallen away a little bit because of his blunder down into turn 3 earlier on in this lap. Coming to the white flag, Hernandez in control, looking to win his first ever DeWalt Cup Series race and put himself in the All-Star race, which is in a few weeks, and that's big because with where he is in points, he might not have a shot to chase through a wild card or through points. Could have a shot if he wins the All-Star race, though.
There you go. Well, that opens opportunities, Joe, but I think the biggest one he's looking at right now is to go out and win a race where he started P5, stayed in 4th for majority of the first half of this, and then after pit stop show, we saw him have a fantastic one, come out 2nd, and then just absolutely run down Laura Chung, made the pass, and has not looked back since. As we're going to try it again, Joe, going into turn 1.
Yes, we are. Side by side, the white flag. Zidell on the inside. Laura Chung back on the outside. Can Zidell maybe use up Laura Chung a little bit more? Look at that, 79. And once again, she's going to make it work on the outside of turn 1. Out-braking Zidell, and Stapleton's coming back again. Well, he missed it again.
The abilities she has, Joe, under braking is just insane. We saw it when she was battling for the lead with her teammate of Nathan Stapleton, actually running into the back of him a couple of times, and now just being able to fight on the outside is insane.
Bryce Egan once again loses the spot to Riley Spurgeon. Now he's under fire from his teammate Max Davis. So all sorts of stuff. Here comes Davis. He'll look out. Maybe just trying to show them. Oh, Jacob Miller gets into Max Davis.
This is we're getting a little aggressive.
We're getting a little rowdy out here. This man's not, though.
No, he actually might be a little bit bored, Joe. He has no one around him.
He has about 4 seconds back to Laura Chung. It's basically an eternity. One of the biggest gaps we've seen for the leader this season. He gets through the carousel well. He has the kink, Canada corner, and a few more. I think Zeidel is too far back to mount a charge on Laura Chung for second place at the end. But Anthony Hernandez through the chicane into Canada corner for the final time. Laura Chung, Zeidel, Stapleton, a good distance back. They're second, third, and fourth. Wells trying to keep fifth from Riley Spruitt, but this man comes in 40th in the points. It's been such a disappointing start to the season for both this driver and the team at Land Motorsports. But as he enters turn 14, he makes it well. He's going to get to the bottom and climb up the hill. Anthony Hernandez is going to become the first winner for Atlanta Motorsports in the DeWalt Cup Series. The checkered flag is waving in the wind. Anthony Hernandez wins the Verizon 500K at Road America. The driver 40th in points gets it done. Chung second. Zeidel third. Stapleton fourth. Mathis Wells with his pit strategy gets fifth. Spurgeon, Egan, Davis, Miller, and Matthew Burnett complete the top 10.
Well, Joe, I think my curse is finally over.
Yeah, how about that? Now he's both each picked a winner this season.
There we go. We're looking good.
We are,
but,
yeah.
Man, what a drive by Anthony Hernandez to what was the final distance? 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, something like that.
Oh, way more. I think we're looking at like 4 seconds, Trey.
Oh, I completely underestimated that. Last time I looked at distance because I was so focused on the racetrack was 2.5 seconds, Joe. But if he doubled that, then I don't know what they did under pit stops, but they turned this thing into an absolute missile.
They did, but he did his part in qualifying into the top 5. Then he hung around inside the top 4, as you mentioned, pretty much all race long. And then on pit stops, they not only did they fix the car well, they did an excellent pit stop, right? That's something to think about, too. If he comes out where he came in around 4th place, it's a lot harder to make that happen. But he came out in second, Trey. That was the big thing. That pit stop, putting him in second place, that allowed him to win this race.
Yeah, 100% there. And just an absolute fantastic race by this 35 altogether. And he shows for it with getting the win, Joe. But, man, there was a lot that went on. A lot that we didn't see.
Yeah, well, obviously all that's going to be caught by cameras, and it'll be side-by-side throughout the race. There was a lot that went down there, and, that's just the part of road course racing. The field gets spread out. There's a lot that goes on, a lot that we miss if it's not, towards the front of the field or something that we're focusing on at the time. But we'll catch it all and try to show it when we can. As we'll now go take a look at the finishing results from a chaotic race here at Road America, the Verizon 500K. Here's the top 10 finishers from a chaotic day at Road America. Anthony Hernandez with the win, underdog story to victory lane, and big for him, getting into the All-Star race now. He'll have a shot to try and win that one to lock himself into the chase, even though with how far down in points he is. Laura Chung, car definitely fell off in the second half of the race, ends up in second. Zeidel tried to pass her as much as he could. Ends up in third. Nathan Stapleton, Mathis Wells round at the top 5. Stapleton, the new points leader. Mathis Wells ends out a solid top 5 bookend for Atlanta Motorsports here today. Riley Spruitt have been 6th. Bryce Egan, Max Davis, Jacob Miller, Matthew Burnett round out the top 10. So good days for those drivers. Good points days for some of them that were trying to stay inside the top 10 or some that were trying to move up towards the top 10. Zachary DeLello, Joshua Cox just outside the top 10. Gabe Willard a solid day, along with Lathan Strickland and Cam Wright Jr., Matt Tuck, Tegan Fox, Chris Jericho, Martinelli, and Angel Gutierrez gets a top 20. So Gutierrez having something good to talk about here in the 2025 season. Noah Brady, Eli Bright, Levi Shones. We saw Bright and Shones with some damage, but Eli was able to make it work for him. Jerry Chen, solid day in 24th. Definitely kind of struggled with where he started. Keegan Thompson dropped in 26th. Philip Torres moved up nicely in 27th. Jack Haas involved in multiple incidents here today, ends up in 28th. With Brian Rodriguez, the points leader, entering the race, ending up in 30th. He'll drop out of the points lead because of his poor performance. And you look down here, and a lot of these guys had some issues. Jordan Stout was involved in some stuff. Crown Jr. was well torn up. So was Johnny Cox with his teammate Joe Hendry. Lap down for Sam Vitale and Tim Gary. They were both involved in their incidents. And all these guys were out. Joe Hendry, his crash towards the end of the race. Ludovic Charette had a mechanical issue in the O2 car. It was a mechanical header issue. Ryan Wilson, Tyler Belladonna, Drew Webb, and Robert Ashford all out as well. So lots of carnage here at the road course in Wisconsin. As now we look at the points, we are 8 races in. Nathan Stapleton, the new points leader, He's up by 20 over Brian Rodriguez. Bryce Egan just 1 point behind Rodriguez. Jerry Chen just 4 behind Rodriguez. So it's close there, second through fourth. Max Davis now up inside the top 5 again. Laura Chung moving up nicely. Jack Haas drops with his poor performance. Burnett up. Gabe Willard up inside the top 10, and Crown Jr. now down to the cut line in 10th. He holds it by 5 points over Jacob Miller, who is 11th and in the second wildcard spot. The first one is Levi Shones, who is 18th to that victory, still holding him in that wildcard spot for the moment. There are other drivers like Spurgeon trying to move up, Keegan Thompson trying to get back up in. He fell out after this race. Nathan Strickland, Zachary DeLello having solid seasons. Philip Torres drops. Jordan Stout really dropped. Zidell up inside the top 20. And of note, not on the screen, but Hernandez is up to 34th with his win. And currently not in a wildcard spot, need to be top 25 in points. But he is there and has a shot at the All-Star race. And who knows, if he continues on this stretch, he could be up inside the top 25 in points. Now the team points on Island Motorsports continues to hold a nice points gap over Vision Motorsports, who does keep second. Galway Automotive now third, only up by 8 over Tucson Racing, who's only up by 8 over EKH Enterprises. And then Me Motorsports, Southern Cross Racing, all the way down. OSC Racing is the last team. So Trey, final thoughts from Road America. It was a crazy race. A lot of stuff happened behind the scenes, but in the end, it was the underdog, Anthony Hernandez, to steal the glory from the big teams and win for Atlanta Motorsports for the first time this season.
Yeah, I mean, it was a race. That's how I'll put it, Joe. We thought at one point Stapleton was going to win, and then we're like, oh, Laura Chung has got a really fast car. She's going to come out victorious. And then after pit stops, it was Hernandez who had an absolutely fantastic one. He gained, what was it, 3 spots after that, right? And then was battling for second. We saw Laura Chung get out to a second or so lead, and then Hernandez just hunted her down and passed, and then never looked back after that. And lots of controversies and some drivers that are angry, some drivers that worked their way through the field, some drivers that fell down. Joe, what am I missing?
What more could you want from a road course race in NR2003? I mean, that's
right.
Nearly as good as it can get for a road course.
I think you even mentioned it, Joe. You've seen some stuff in this race that you've never seen before.
Yeah, and we saw it on the side-by-side stuff. There was a lot of crashes in turn 14. Rarely have I ever seen a crash in turn 14 on this track in NR 2003, but it happened multiple times here today. That's just how NR works for sure. But hopefully next week will be a little bit warmer in the Midwest, as we're going racing at the Kansas Speedway. That'll be a fun one, the Bass Pro Shops 400. Then in 2 weeks' time, we're going to Boston, a unique racetrack, kind of like Rockingham. We'll have to see how it all plays out, and on JRTV, both those Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Congratulations are in order today for Anthony Hernandez, Jay Rando, and his team at Atlanta Motorsports on a great win, a dominating win in the second half of this race at Road America. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rakowski. So long on JRTV.